Hello and welcome to the Tithin Bryn podcast. I'm trying to be back at it again. I know I promised at the beginning of the year and failed abysmally at it, but things have eased up a bit now, so hopefully I should be able to podcast once a month. So I have got a whole host of things here to show you. I have been working on bits and pieces of a knitting school and knit university that we are starting at the Welsh Wool Shop in Newcastle Emlyn. I'm filming currently from my brand new studio space, so you can see all the stock for going out to markets and shows this side. Over this side then I've got all my forest school gear, all sorts of bits and pieces then up above, so some old spinning wheels that I need to do some work on, some bits of willow weaving, my green man, and Oak is wandering around in the background, so we may well have to throw sticks at various points. So welcome to the new cabin space. Really excited. It has been an absolute game changer being able to come down here and work. I can have pans dyeing whilst I'm also spinning, and I'm not running around and all this stuff, literally all the stuff that is round on shelves and all sorts. I'll try and film different podcasts at different angles at various points, but all this stuff was hidden around my house. So the space that has created has been absolutely amazing. Anyway, back to what I've been working on. I've got a couple of finished items to show you. I've been working on a lot of pattern designing, and also all the bits and pieces for knitting school, and yeah, lots of in progress stuff to show you. So let's get cracking. First of all then, knit school. So I have been preparing lots of different swatches to show people. So we've got garter stitch, pearls, ribbing, stocking stitch, another ribbing one, to show them different sizings and things, and how it comes up differently. I've also got somewhere buried in this pile, a moss stitch variety. I have done a one colour brioche version, then a two colour brioche, so that's with the green prominent on the right side, and on the wrong side the white is prominent. I quite like both of them. Be difficult to choose between, so that's a two colour brioche. So I'm currently filming the videos for that as well, to hopefully take that online, chuck them back in the bag. So that's all the knit school stuff caught up with. Pattern designing then. Back before the summer, for knitting school, I designed a very simple sweater. My first attempt at knitting it up was this guy. It's a nice bamboo yarn, really. It's soft. It splits like anything, so right pain in the pinny to knit. And I made a complete and utter boo-boo. I was absolutely exhausted basically towards the end of the term, and I started doing a raglan sleeve, and the first side increases, but I didn't increase before and after my marker, so I've ended up with a very wonky start to a sweater. I got to the point where I was starting to knit down the body, and I realised, and I thought, I am not tinking this back because the wool is so splitty. So I took this in as a show the ladies that I'm teaching what a mistake at a maker, and what happens sometimes when you make mistakes. Even people who've been knitting as long as I have can still mess it up. So that one is there, but I corrected it, and we ended up with, this is the very tiny teeny version, the blossom edge blossom edge sweater. So the blossom edge sweater is a very simple, this one hasn't been blocked yet, as you can tell from the slight bibbling, but it's a very simple construction, top down sweater construction, with just a little border of lace, just a little border of lace to echo all the little flowers out and about. So that is the teeny tiny version. Much easier to show teeny tiny versions on camera. So all of the sweater patterns I am designing I am doing the maths to size it from age 1 all the way through the childhood sizes and then up to a 4XL at the moment. If I need to go higher, I will do some more maths and I will work it out. I don't like maths. I really don't like doing the maths on it. I really did nearly throw my laptop out the window quite a number of times with this, but I was determined to get it done. So it's got a twisted rib edging on all the ribs because I just become obsessed with that. I just love that, just that feel of it. It's really raised and got such a nice finish to it. So the twisted rib. I'm going to be getting that sort of written up, finished writing up and sent out onto Ravelry, onto the website, etc. soon. I did, over the summer, then knit myself. I had 2 skeins of this absolutely gorgeous cotton, which I got yonks ago at Abergavenny Market when we were still living up that direction. I picked it up from Carolyn at Abergavenny, and it's got fluff all over it. But this gorgeous deep purpley blue cotton. So as you can see, I did the top part in that. And then I swiftly realised that 2 skeins weren't going to be enough to complete a whole sweater in my size. So I think I'd originally bought it for a shawl, a large shawl. So luckily, the Welsh Wool Shop stock cottons. So I went and got this one from Sasha, a couple of balls of this one. This is an ochre. It is a, can't even remember. I wonder if I've got the labels. I might have the labels in the bag. But yeah, it's an ochre colour. No labels in the bag. Ochre colour, but it's the standard standard cotton that they stock now in the Welsh Wool Shop there, and I think it's come out rather lovely. It is going to need a wash and a block, mainly because this cotton, not the Egyptian cotton sort of type stuff up the top here, the mercerized cotton, Egyptian cotton. Not talking about sheets. The mercerized cotton up here really holds its texture, but this is much softer, and it's causing all this sort of fluffing over the other darker colour. So it is going to need a wash before I wear. But rather pleased with how I decided to stripe it in, and I will have a sweater to wear once I've sorted out the fluffing. So that is project number 2. I'm going to put that on here. We are going to end up with sticks filling my work because he will, this is what I've been presented with so far, a bit of stick. So I'll lob that one over there for him. I have also been working on finishing up a couple of the whips out of my basket. And one of those was this shawl. So it is a pattern that I have been trying to write up for more years than I can now count. It is going to be called the Hazel Shawl. It is called the Hazel Shawl in various iterations on my laptop, and I cannot seem to get the last bit of it written so it makes sense to other humans. But I will persevere, and hopefully now I've got a bit of brain space, this one will become, but basically it's not at all blocked yet. This is in the Spirit colourway on a rustic sock base, but it's got little leaves at the edge. So it's a nice simple knit at the beginning, triangular shawl. It does, you can pull the leaves to points when you block it. So I'm pulling them out as I speak to you there. You can pull the leaves to points as you block it, and that gives us some really nice detailing then on the edge. It gives it that sort of scalloped edge. So that one is down here for blocking in my cabin, which I brought down. Oh, he's brought our stick back, hence the squeaking. So I brought it down to block in the cabin and then realised all my blocking mats are actually still at the house. So that's another thing I need to go and dig out of some corner of my house. Moving then on from the shawl that was a finished to be written pattern and the sweater, I then went on to look at another little sweater. It's okay. Pop, pop, it's okay. throw his stick. Another little sweater here, just a very simple colour work. So I'm looking at designing patterns at the moment that can gradually increase people's skills that I'm teaching to knit. So again, it's another top-down raglan construction, twisted rib, and a little bit of colour work. And this is to emulate the sea. So I think this one's going to be probably called Crashing Waves as a sweater. That's knit in the age 4 size, because I'm gradually knitting through the basic sweater pattern as well. So that one is going to be written up and released fairly shortly. Excuse me. Right. My most recent finish, again, it's been for knitting school. Everything has been for knitting school recently. It's quite a thing. Trying to get it all ready for the autumn term start, which is, we'll be going... So we're battling brioche with Knit University on the 2nd Saturday of the month, and then the knit school beginners class starts at the end of the month. So it's the 4th Saturday of the month. So that's taking up 2 of my Saturdays now every month, and other than when I'm at yarn shows. And then I will be doing my usual Wild Women groups, which I do in here in the cabin. A group of local ladies come and spend some time with me to do forest school things, really. So we do grown-up forest school in the cabin now once a month. That's the 3rd Saturday of every month. So back from the distractions. This is my brioche cowl. It's a 2-colour brioche. Again, it's a simple pattern written up so people can have a go at doing brioche. I haven't sewn any of the ends in yet because, you know, things happen. I've done it in the redwood, which is the brown colourway, on the, what base are we on? I think that's on Pastoral, the Pastoral DK. And the yellow then, which is probably better to see this side, is the Sunflower. And again, I think that's on Pastoral at the moment, but I do also have, I think I have both of them in the Bardic base, are available on the website. So that is a simple 2-colour brioche cowl that I'm going to try putting on. What? So obviously, once the ends are sewn in, nice snuggly little cowl to keep me warm while I'm sorting out the sheep in winter. So just something a little bit of snuggle around your neck. So there we go. So that one I'm going to be writing up and getting out. All of these have to be out for testing. So if you are in my Facebook group, I will be putting a call out for testers very soon. So that's basically what I've been working on. The other thing I work on, this is my swimming project. So I take the children for their swimming lesson once a week, and once a week I get an hour sat by the pool, slowly baking, because it's like a sauna in there. Lovely little private pool, but it's so hot in there in the summer. But I sit and knit for an hour, and I've been knitting on these socks. Again, it's a very simple design for socks, and I've finished one. It's taken me months because they only get knit on every week at swimming. Taken me months, but we have, again, no ends sewn in, but we have the rainy day socks. So they've just got a little bit of texture that as you come down is meant to look like little rain droplets on the window. I've popped in a partridge heel, so for reinforcedness, because heels tend to be where I go through. I think it must be schlubbing about in the welly boots. And I've started to look at asymmetrical toes, so they're actually a bit more fit my feet. So I'm having a little play with that at the moment to see what would be best, what shaping would be best for my toes. So yes, these socks will be specific to a foot. So this is a left foot sock. So I need to remember, this is going to be a big thing, I need to remember which foot I'm knitting for the next time around, because as I said, this is a left foot sock because the toes come in, big toe this side, which is slightly straighter, and then yeah, I need to remember which way around, otherwise we'll end up with 2 left feet. So this is actually the April Showers colourway. which I have a few skeins left of, but I have taken them off the website currently. So when this pattern releases, there will be some kits available for purchasement. Now, let's pop them back into my lovely little elephant bag. Anyone who knows me, I collect elephants. They are everywhere. I have a couple hiding down here at the moment. There's a few more to bring down as I am still sort of moving into the cabin. So that is all the bits and pieces that I seem to have been working on recently. I have been doing some sewing, so I'll try and insert a picture of that here. And I've got lots of other bits and pieces planned. So I found my green linens that I've been looking for. There's a small amount of those, so I might patchwork them up with something else for something that I've got planned in the sewing department. I have got this yarn out. So I've left one of these unlabeled. This is the Green Dragon Garden. I'm going to unskein it to show you. So it's lots of different greens. It's on the Hobbit sock base, which is the new base that I've got, which is out currently at Hobbit clubs. This one is to echo the greens of a garden. And then every so often there's these little golden flashes of ale through it. These are available on the website. There are a few skeins in the box behind me, available on the website currently, which is the only Hobbit sock that I have got dyed up that is in release other than the Hobbit clubs. So there's Hobbity Harvest that's going on at the moment. I have just packaged up some of the boxes this morning. There are a couple of spaces, as I'm recording, there's a couple of spaces left on that club. Then next month, the Autumn Botanicals DK Club is starting. I have got some absolutely fabulous yarns for that. I'm going to get them. Okay, so I've picked up the autumn colourways. The Autumn Club is going to kick off with Bracken and Bramble. This is on a Verdant DK base, which is the shearling base of the Aberfields and the Cheviots, and it is glorious. It is luscious to knit. It is smooth. It is next to skin soft. It is luscious. So we've got the deep hues of the autumn brackens coming through and these lovely bramble colours hidden in there, and then there's occasional fleckles of green through it, and I'm rather in love. So some greens, some darker browns down the bottom. Really, really lovely autumny yarn. Then moving on into November, we're going to have crabapple and oak. So we've got some very deep reds. We've got some oranges. We've got some different oranges. We've got some yellows, and some of those yellows are nice and soft, and then others of them are really nice and bright. And that is oak and crabapple, which will be coming out in the club in November. And then the final club package will come out in December, beginning of December. So each of these club packages will ship the first week of the month. And the last one is probably my favourite. And I really do hope that all the spaces don't sell on this one, because I want the skein of this. I want to be sitting there at Christmas knitting a skein of this. It is Slow and Smoke. So you've got those deep plummy purples, and then this smoky greys, darker greys, lighter purples, darker purples, and I am in love with this. On the Verdant base, as I said, and it is just beautiful. I want me a hat in this. I really do want me a hat in this. So those are the three skeins for the autumn club there. Lots of purples, lots of oranges, just really nice autumny colours. Pop them back in their bag there. Now, I've been spinning. After probably about a year of spinning a Shetland, sorry, my spinning wheel's over there. That's why I'm looking. It has a nice big window so I can overlook the yard and see what's going on out there. So during the summer, while the children have been out playing cricket and things on the yard, I can keep an eye whilst spinning, which has been really lovely. rather than having it hidden away in a corner of my bedroom, which where it was previously. So I have put my jumbo flyer back on and I am spinning up some big balls. So this is from the Aberfield and Cheviot Roving, and I'm loving how this is spinning up chunky. So I've got lots of plans with this, so watch this space, but it is also absolutely amazing for peg looming. So I will have some of these balls available with me when I go to, where am I next? Llandovery show, end of this month. Beginning of next month-ish, Narberth. And then finally, last show of the year is Newton Abbot in Devon. So big balls will be available at all of those. I have also got my bum back into gear and been dyeing up some fibre. This is destined to be spun up into a big ball, because look at that. That's just going to be glorious. So again, it's the sort of bracken and brambly colourways. I kind of splodged dye around from everywhere, really. Lots of those purples, lots of the oranges, some really deep oranges in there, some really pale, almost pinky oranges, some lemony yellows, and then you got some really zingy yellows. And then you got some purples, dark and light. And then these greens. So yeah, I went a bit mad with this. But that is destined to be spun up into a big ball at some point soon. And I'm gonna dye up some more of these fibres to spin up into big balls. So there will be big balls in colour, big balls in natural. Watch this space. There are lots of things happening here. I've currently, I don't know if you can hear the whirring in the background. I've got the dehydrator on for a load of herbs that I'm drying for the winter months, but also the occasional clicks you might hear from over there. The dye pot's actually simmering away, so I can film things and have dye pot simmering away, which is wonderful. So I'm dyeing up at the moment over in the pans. I've got some Margaret Plum dyeing up, which I'm hoping I might get dry more towards the end of this week, ready for the online market, which is in the Facebook group. And I've also managed to crack the Meadowsweet. So Meadowsweet Root was rumoured to be the only black dye from the naturals with an iron mordant, and I have cracked it. I've got a black dye from Meadowsweet Root. I've also been dyeing up with some walnut leaf, some alder cones, and I've got a whole variety there. And again, there's lots of plans coming with that. So lots of things in progress. Some things I can't show you just yet. Lots of things I can show you, but aren't available on the website yet. And then lots of things that are coming very, very soon. So I hope you stick with me, and I will endeavour to get all the podcasty stuff going on a more regular basis. So until next time, bye.